And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Divinare. Or is it Divinare? Or, games need to come with a pronunciation guide on them. This is a game from Asmodee, which is a game about mediums, a contest between mediums to tell the future. But actually, when you play this, you're going to be really reminded of another game called Botswana, or one of its previous incarnations, Loco. Now, this game is not those games. This game is a very different game. It just has that same feel to it. It has the feel of a light game, and some who have played it with me have called it a light game. But I am convinced that there's more to it than that. Let's take a look. Look into my eyes. Yeah, I know. Sorry. So here's the game. There are these 4 plates here in the middle of the table. You got a crystal ball, and you got this one, which, incidentally, I have a hard time like, woo, a flying saucer. Okay, but anyhow, and I'm only going to mention this right here, but this may be a put-off for some people just because of the way these look, and the cards themselves actually look like tarot cards. That you may not want this game for those reasons or what have you. That's being said, the game itself is very simple. There are 36 cards in this game, and you can see each of the cards is a different color. Everything on the card doesn't matter. There's a color, and at the top is a Roman numeral which tells you how many of that card is in the decks. But it doesn't matter because you can see that by looking at the board. You can see, for example, that there are 8 of the white/blue cards, there are 12 of the yellow, there are 10 of the green, and there are 6 of the red. And what you're going to do at the beginning of the game is you're going to shuffle the cards. You're going to take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of the cards out of the game. No one can see them. Now we can see them, and we can see, and this is a really interesting game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We took 7 of the yellow cards out of the game. How weird is that? So there is only 5 of the yellow cards left in the game. We took 4 of the green cards out. There's only 6 green cards in the game. We took 1 of the blue out, so there's 7 blue cards in the game. And we took none of the reds out, so there are 6 reds. Now, we know that because I showed you that. But when we play the game, you don't know that. You're going to take the rest of the cards and deal them out. Now, I'm talking about a 4-player game here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards for each player. You're going to look at the cards you have, and then you're going to pass 3 cards to the person on your right, actually, and then the person on your left is going to pass you 3 cards, and these are the cards that you'll have for that round. Now, each player has a card at the beginning of the game that shows which diviner they are, and they have a matching symbol that is on each one. And the gameplay is very simple. On your turn, you pick a card from your hand, and you play that card near the area where it's supposed to be played. So green cards are played near the green saucer and cup. Then you take your piece. So let's say I'm the ring piece. And you say, I think there are 6 green cards in play. Now you don't know, but you're using the cards that you have and the cards that you have seen. And the cards that other people have played. If, as the green ring player, I play another green card in the future, that's fine, but I must move my piece. So I can move it back here to no bid, or I can move it somewhere else for a bid. So anytime somebody plays a green card, they move a piece on the green one. And so you may be forced to play a green card, and and it's possible that you have to move your piece to another spot. Now, after everyone has played 2 cards, you have 4 cards left in your hand. At that point, you will pass 2 cards. So now you know some more cards in the game. And then you play 2 more cards, one at a time, in turn order. Then there's only 2 cards left in your hand, and you will pass 1 of those on. Then you'll play your last 2 cards. Then, after each card has been played, we will look at each of the teacups in order. So let's say right here. Let's say in this game here, there are 5 green cards in play. Now, the guy with the orange gem did not bid at all, so he doesn't gain or lose anything. 5, this person is exactly right. So they are going to get 3 points. They take a chip that's worth 3 points, and they get to keep that. If someone had been, let's say this guy had been here, he's 1 away in these 2 spots, then you would get 1 point. If you are more than one away, like the green ring player, you will lose a point. Now, if you notice, and let's focus up a little bit here, some of these spots here have little markings on them. You can see that the 5 has a little circle and the 3, 4 has a filled in circle. If you are on this spot and you are correct, you will get an extra chip. If you are on a spot that has a filled in circle and you're correct, you'll get 2 extra chips. However, that also works for the negative. If you are wrong, you can lose extra chips, because the chance of it being 3 or 4 or 9 and 10 is very off the wall. I mean, the chances of that aren't quite so much, so you're taking a greater risk. You might lose more, but you also might win big. You're going to play 1 round for each player, and that's how the game basically works. There is a card that's included in the game that shows you how many cards to pass. When you have 6 cards, pass 3. When you have 4, pass 2. When you have 2, pass 1. And there's something similar for 3 players. When you have 8, pass 4. When you have 4, pass 2. With 2 players, there's a way where you're putting cards in the middle of the table, and then at a certain point, you'll turn those cards over and reveal them. And so it's able to be played with 2, 3, or 4 players. Whoever has the most points at the end is the winner. Hurrah for them. They are the best medium. I seem to do extraordinarily well at this game. And I don't think it's because I'm a great player, but I think it's because I simply catch on to how this game works. To me, while this game is light, you're like, oh, how many cards are there? Should I go for the thing? That's not how I think. I watch every single thing everyone else does in this game, because to me that's a clue. You know 9 cards out of the 24 cards that are involved at the beginning of the game. And I watch not only what my opponents play, but what they bid. I remember what cards I've passed on and see if those cards are played or other cards are played, because then you know more cards that are involved in the game. And I watch as things change from turn to turn and what cards are passed. And you can come pretty good. Now, what makes the game interesting is when you play a card, you have to move your marker. And sometimes you have it, for example, on the 6 of blue, and you know there are 6 cards, and you have another blue card in your hand. Well, what do? Well, you need to pass that card so you don't have to play it. But what if someone passes you a blue? Well, you need to have been prepared for that eventuality, in my opinion. And so there's a lot going on. Now, granted, this game is nothing set in stone, and it is light and fun as cards are passed around. But to me, it's so fascinating. I know I'm making this game sound much more in-depth than it probably is, but it's just interesting because I'm watching and looking at everyone. Okay, they played that card, they played that card. Okay, the odds that there is so many of the red cards in the game is this, and it's very probable that there could be, and I passed this many, and he passed this many, and if he passed these, and he played that, he thinks there's that many. And I don't know. I get a kick out of it. I really, really enjoy this game. The theme I can take or leave, and I wish it was a little more fun. The theme, it looks so serious, but I mean, it's beautiful production, tremendous, and it's very entertaining. I'm talking, this is a game that really could fit in the Griffin series. Ooh, same size box. Maybe it should. I'll just write a 12 on it. But Divinare, a game that I will highly recommend. I was very, very surprised by it in a very positive way. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I wasn't surprised at all. I knew all along.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find the latest board game news at Dicetowernews.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Fun Again Games, the world's best game source. Fun Again Games has over 5,000 games available. Check them out at funagain.com.